Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share my new powders from Resin. They are so pretty. I knew you all just had to see them. I already used them last night to make another star like what I have here. But I thought I would do this one a little bit different than that one. You gotta see these colors. Look at that. It's champagne. Mint. And it's really neat. I'll show you as I take them out. They're chameleon, so they have usually 2 or 3. I guess I don't know if I've really... We'll find out when we demold the one I did last night of how the color shifts, but just looking at it in the light, you can see there's like a few different colors in there. But it's just really fun to use. I have other powders from Resin, and they are so pretty. And those of you with allergies, you should be able to use these just fine. I have major allergies to a lot of powders and a lot of everything. And I have some powders from a company that, no kidding, I was sick for 3 days after using them. And every product I have had from Resin, I have never had any type of allergic reaction. So I don't know what the difference is with the powders. I would say quality. Resin has amazing quality, excellent customer service. I can send them a message, and being with a different time zone, they usually answer me the next day unless it's over the weekend. And then they get back to me right away on Monday morning, which you can't really complain about that. They're just really a neat company. So I do not mind sharing their products and letting you all know how much I love their products. I think I have, I have a lot. Besides their resin and this set of powders, I have the smaller sets of these, 2 different ones. 2 or 3, I think 3 different sets of inks that they offer. But they're just pretty. And I'm so excited to demold the other star that I did last night, because I think it's going to be a nice little stunner. I don't know if that's the right word I'm thinking of, but it works. And it brushes on, if you can tell how well it brushes on. Sometimes I like to mix it directly in resin, but other times I prefer to brush the mold. And I'll show you what I do with it once I'm done dusting it, because you can see that the powder kind of gets over everything. And then that makes your design different. So I always clean it up before I pour the resin. But I don't know if the light is shining in there right so you can see it. If I have a bright enough light on. Here. You can see it in the lid. See how that shifts? Let's see. This one is golden. That looks a little green too in the light. The star that I did last night I did with black resin. And I thought this one I would fill it with. I'm going to add some silver to the resin to see how the lighter colors work on this. I'm pretty positive I know how it's going to turn out because of the other colors that I have of these powders, but surprisingly I haven't tried those with the lighter color. Magenta. And these are sold by weight. They're 5 grams. So I don't know if you can see, this one isn't all the way full. Depending on the pigments and such, they settle during shipping differently. So, and this one, as you can see how it's brushing on, it's kind of a heavier powder. And I know the screen doesn't do it, the camera doesn't do it justice. This is definitely one of those powders that once you see it in person, you're like, wow, that's really pretty. As long as you like magenta, of course. Because we don't all like all colors, right? I know purple's a really pretty color, but I just don't care for it. So I generally don't craft with it too much, unless I'm making something for my mom or something. Because purple is one of her favorite colors. Here's grape. I know this is kind of a bluey purple. I didn't use that one, surprisingly, so we'll skip that one again, just so I do the same colors that I did last night on the black. And this is plum, so kind of a pinky purple. You can see that. It's really pretty. If you notice my brushes, I'm using my really small brushes. You can use Q-tips. Use your fingers if you want. Everybody has their own preference. And it works out well that I have so many of these small brushes. I like to paint things with fine detail. So I have a lot of little brushes. These ones, I'm really excited to see what this looks like. It's olive. Let's see how that is. It's gonna really pop on that with the black resin. I think it's going to be a nice shimmer though with the silver resin that I plan to pour in this. I actually mixed resin before I started filming just so it was ready. It's degassing. So it shouldn't have any or very few bubbles in it. Granted, I'm using the Let's Resin resin, and it doesn't get a lot of bubbles anyways. It's probably the least bubbly out of all the resins that I use. I think I have like 5 different brands on my desk right now. And they are not all created equal, unfortunately. But I highly recommend all of Let's Resin's products. This is Teal. See that? Let's see it close close up. Let's see. This is another one of the heavier powders. See how it's brushing on. This color is so pretty. And here is, this is just blue. I think too, another option, if you don't have small brushes, and you don't want to use Q-tips, I know some powders come with an applicator. It reminds me of an eyeshadow wand. It's kind of got that foamy end to it. Or if you have a lot of makeup brushes, you can definitely use those too, because mica powders, I don't know if these are straight mica or what their chemical is, but mica powders are the base of eyeshadow anyways, so if you have extra eyeshadow brushes laying around, they would be perfect for your resin work. And our last color, this one is Galaxy. It's kind of, reminds me like it has all the colors in it. I don't know if it really does, but it just kind of seems that way to me. You can see a little bit on the lid there. The big thing is not to push it too hard. I don't know if you notice how it kind of poofed up a little bit there. And it's a good way to get it all over the place. There we go. And usually if you notice how I have extra powder in there, normally I take this over to the garbage and shake that out. But I didn't do that last night, and the way it kind of moved around looks really neat on the other one. So once I powdered it, I get out a baby wipe. I really like this brand from Aldi. Remember if it comes in a 2 or a 3 pack for just a few bucks. But anytime I work with powder, then I always go over the mold. It's kind of tedious, but I found that I really like the results better. It doesn't look as messy. Let's see. It probably wouldn't show up as much, being that I'm going to use silver for this one. But with the black, all of this would really stand out. magenta on that side, but that'll be okay. And these molds, I got them off Amazon, I think. They have these little, if you can see that, little stands. I wish they were a little thicker because it gets pretty heavy when the resin goes in. So I know I shifted them a few times last night on the other one. I think I might have to come up with something to help stabilize them a little better. There, I think that's pretty good. What do you think? Not bad? Yeah, this is the code if you need that. But I will be sure to put the link in the description. Here, I'll set this aside. Here's my resin, and it's getting nice and warm. See, not too many bubbles. I have something black floating in there. It's getting nice and warm, so I bet you it won't take too long to cure once I get it all poured in. But this is the silver that I'm going to use. Another product from Let's Resin. These big ones come in, I think, black, magenta, and I think there's a blue. But the silver, I'm surprised I even have any left. It is so pretty. And you don't need a lot. I try not to over powder my resins because the more powder you put in, it changes your curing time. If you put too much powder or too much ink or too much anything in it. So I think, there, one more. That'll be good. These are just little scoops I found at Hobby Lobby. I don't remember what they're called. I think I found them in the baking aisle, of all places. Give that a good stir. And so that I don't make a mess, I actually used a pipette to put the resin in. And you don't want to stir it too fast. If you've ever worked with resin, you'll know that because that's where your air bubbles come from. And I don't really have room for a pressure pot, but I think about it now and again because I know a lot of the mainstream creators all have pressure pots. And it does give you a better product and result. But I think I do pretty good with what I have. I always make sure to let my resin sit. You know, I mix it for 5 minutes. And then I let it generally sit for 5 or 10 minutes before I add anything so it can do its thing and degas and whatnot. I don't know if you can see those swirls. How pretty is that? Now, grab a pipette. And this is what a pipette is in case you've never used one before. The downside to using pipettes, though, too, is it takes longer to fill it. But you eliminate the possibility of spilling your resin all over. Especially with these bigger mixing cups. Very easy to spill with them because, you know, they're so soft. Maybe I am gonna try and pour this. Test my luck, right? Be amazed at how warm this cup is. I probably could have put a little bit more silver in. That's pretty neat the way the colors changed already just from putting in the resin. I'm going to use my pipette though to help around the hanger. I don't know if you noticed that this is an actual ornament kind of thing. You could actually be really fun to do with alcohol ink and do like a stained glass kind of design with it, and then be able to hang it in the window. Kind of leaning to the side to see how level everything is. I think we'll leave it at that. Let's see, gotta adjust those a little bit. Plug in my heat gun. I prefer to use my heat gun rather than a torch. I guess I'm too scared I'm going to start my craft room on fire. And see how some of the pieces came up, like right there. I can't wait to see the design it creates on this backside during the process. Sorry for the noise. It's not too terrible. Should probably put a note to turn the volume down. The heat gun my other half has, he has one of those, what would you call it, industrial grade heat guns. And yeah, his is loud. See how that tipped? Yep, we're definitely going to have to modify this mold. And I have one of these. It's a tent. It's actually a picnic tent for when you have your picnics. But it works really good for covering your resin projects. So if you're doing other things, working with glitters and other powders and stuff, you don't get it all over your other ones. But here is the one I did last night. If you can see that design that the powders did, I just think that is so pretty. Here, let's get this baby out. And this is actually the first time I've used these molds, so I'm extra excited to take this out. Unfortunately, they don't make that really satisfying release noise that some molds make. And I always let my resin projects cure for 24 hours. Ooh. Oh my. How pretty is that? Yeah, see, you can see I didn't get all the powders off there. But I can just take some black resin and paint that up. Ooh. These are beautiful. Let's Resin knocked it out of the park again. So I will be back tomorrow and we'll show you what the silver one looks like. See you soon.
Well, here it is. All finished. See that design there? Sometime I'm going to try just putting some powders in and not brushing them and see how the resin moves it around. Just kind of fun. Take it out and see how she looks. And there it is. See how the colors are. And if you notice here, different spots, that is from not shaking the powders out. So if you're going to make a sun catcher, make sure you shake the extra powder out so it doesn't look like that. Just here, show it close up. It's still pretty though. Just gives a different texture, sort of. So here's what they look like side by side. These colors are absolutely beautiful. And they were so fun. But yeah, so that's how they turned out. I used the Let's Resin brand resin. Love this stuff. I love all their products. They have yet to disappoint me. And of course, that's what I used for the silver. And then here is the 10-piece set. That's the markings on it. I'll make sure to put the links in the description so it's easier for you to find. But I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.